Kurdification is a cultural change in which something ethnically non-Kurdish is made to become Kurdish, usually in contexts of post-Saddam Iraq, in particular in relation to Assyrian Christians, Iraqi Turkmen, Shabak people and the ethno-religious group of the Yazidis.Kurds claim that Kurdification is used for the implementation of Article 140 of the Iraqi constitution, which ensured to restore the situation before Saddam Hussein's assimilation and deportation policies against the Kurds during Al-Anfal Campaign. History. In Iraq until 2011, Kurdification has been an open policy of the KRG since 2003, according to Gareth Stansfield, a professor of Middle East politics at the University of Exeter. Some sources have claimed that the Kurds have clear plans for the annexation of the Nineveh Plains to the Kurdish control, and they have always sent the followers to international forums to interrupt international protection for Assyrians. The Haaretz newspaper reported that the Kurds object to the establishment of a protected Christian enclave because they want to annex the Nineveh Valley, most of whose residents are Christians. Some Yazidis expressed concern over forced assimilation into Kurdish culture and identity. Some have accused the Kurdish parties of diverting US $12 million reconstruction funds allocated for Yazidi areas in Jebel Sinjar to a Kurdish village and marginalizing them politically. According to the Human Rights Watch, in 2009, the goal of these tactics is to push Shabak and Yazidi communities to identify as ethnic Kurds. The Kurdish authorities are working hard to impose Kurdish identity on two of the most vulnerable minorities in Iraq, the Yazidis and the Shabaks. Some sources have reported that, since 2003, there have been many cases of Yazidi women being abducted and forced to marry members of the Kurdish security force ISIS. However, the report was never confirmed by other organizations or authorities. In addition to the Kurdish-speaking majority, there are also Yazidi communities that speak Arabic as the native mother language. In 2002, at the request of a group of Yazidis led by Tamayan, the Armenian parliament recognized the Yazidis as a separate ethnicity. The United Nations also recognizes the Yazidis as a distinct ethnic group. According to Armin Farhan Jeffo, the leader of the Yazidi movement for reform and progress, since the fall of the former regime, the people of Yazidi religion are victims of the policies of some sides in Kurdistan region which try to demonstrate the Kurdish identity for the Yazidi people in Nineveh and Dohuk. A quote from a lawyer Kuryo Maytap in an interview: "The policy of Kurdification is operated for decades. The Assyrian history is systematically distorted. Many Assyrian villages still be kept busy. The names of the Assyrian cities and villages are specifically converted into Kurdish." According to Hanan Kado, president of the Iraqi Minorities Council, Shabaks are currently undergoing a process of Kurdification. On the 15th of August 2005, Shabaks organized a demonstration under the slogan, "We are the Shabak, not the Kurds and not the Arabs," demanding recognition of the unique ethnic identity. The demonstration came under fire from Kurdistan Democratic Party militia. On the 21st of August 2006, Shabak Democratic Party leader Hanan Kado proposed the creation of a separate province within the borders of the Nineveh Plain, in order to combat the Kurdification and Arabization of Iraqi minorities. In 2008, the Assyrian International News Agency reported that Mr. Mirza Ismail, chairman of London Yazidis Community Canada, accused the Kurdistan regional government of forcing Yazidis to register as Kurds, expanding Kurdish settlements in Yazidi regions, and forcing Yazidis out of Sinjar city. The minorities of Iraq have also founded parties to represent the people, for example, the Iraqi Turkmen Front, the Assyrian Patriotic Party, the Yazidi Movement for Reform and Progress and the Shabak Democratic Assembly. They have also founded own militias to defend the villages, for example, the Nineveh Plain Protection Units, the Protection Force of Sinjar and the Nineveh Plains Brigade. Arabs are also being displaced in previously mixed Kurdish Arab villages in northern Iraq. The Assyrian International News Agency claimed that the Kurds have annexed Assyrian, Yazidi and Shabak villages which are now under Kurdish control in North Iraq and in Turkey. In Iraqi Kurdistan, Assyrian politicians of some towns have been replaced with Kurdish ones. The entire Assyrian Triangle has been occupied by Kurdish intruders. Some Assyrians have also complained that they have limited rights and that there are threats against them. Some Assyrians in the Kurdistan region of Iraq also complained that construction plans are aimed at effecting a demographic change that divides Assyrian blocks. Also, some Yazidis, Shabaks and Turkmens have reported that they are facing a policy of cultural and security control against them, especially in areas which belonged to the Kurds before Saddam's Al-Anfal Campaign. In 2016, David Romano, professor of Middle East politics, said that without the YPG and the Peshmerga, the Assyrians of northern Syria and Iraq would all likely be dead, lying in some jihadist dug mass grave in Syria. In October 2015, Amnesty International reported that the YPG had driven civilians from northern Syria and destroyed the homes in retaliation for perceived links to ISIL. The majority of the destroyed homes belonged to Arabs, but some belonged to Turkmens and Kurds. Turkish daily Sabah claimed that Amnesty International has said that Kurdish PYD conducted ethnic cleansing against Turkmens and Arabs after seizing Tal Abyad. However, Amnesty International has published only one report about the Syrian Kurdish forces, and it is related to destroying villages and homes, not ethnic cleansing at all. The Amnesty International report concluded that there are documented cases of forced displacement that constitute war crimes. Osama Telcu, head of the National Coalition for Syrian Revolutionary and Opposition Forces, told that PYD forces set ablaze civil registry and land registry buildings in Manbij shortly after taking city from ISIL. According to local sources, PYD forces set ablaze civil registry and land registry buildings in Manbij. In addition, the PYD has also been sending away Sunni Arabs and Turkmen residents who want to return to their homes in Manbij on the pretext that ISIL has planted mines inside the houses. PYD also banned the families from Bukik and Sulak villages east of the Euphrates River as well from going back to the homes. Manbij is located west of the river.